All right. Okay, my dudes, we are back with part 2 of diving deeper into the latest reveal of the 0.5 patch for Path of Exile 2. So in the first part, we actually went through a lot of the things that is coming with the new league, which is the Runes of Alder League. That's going to be like the new league mechanic that's added in 0.5. But as we know by now, we are also getting a huge rework to a bunch of these other mechanics. And one of the other mechanics that we are getting a rework to is basically the expedition. And it seems like the expedition mechanic is a little bit like interweaved with the Runes League mechanic. So let's just continue watching here, and yeah, I'm just gonna fix one thing here. Fixing one thing here real quick. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Just gonna have this chat over here. Okay. Yeah, so let's dive back into things with Mark.
Change significantly. For those of you who haven't played it, the Expedition League mechanic involves carefully placing explosives, uncovering the buried dead, and recovering Verisium from them.
Yep.
By choosing where to place the explosives, you can choose which kind of challenges you would like to face, or rewards you would like to claim. But unlike before, expeditions now contain the remnants from Runes of Eldur, allowing you to do some specific crafts along the way using the new League crafting mechanic.
Okay, so the like one change to the expedition is that it's gonna contain contains the new league, the new Rune League mechanic for increased difficulty, I guess, and rewards.
One very important difference from the simple remnant encounters, though, is that the empowerments that the remnants grant apply to every monster down the explosive line for the rest of the encounter, stacking together.
It's stacking,
This
okay.
can lead to some pretty extreme situations. If you stack too many remnants, you might be in for a fight beyond your abilities, but the rewards can be very worth it.
Yeah.
Each mod on the monster is improving the items that they can drop. Once you get to the endgame, you will find that the Atlas has changed substantially. To the south, you will now find the coastline of Rayclast, with the ocean beyond. Kingsmarch has not fared well after the Cataclysm, and lays in ruins. Rog's shop has been destroyed, but he is much more concerned about his wife, Gwenyn. He would like to launch an expedition deep into the ocean to find her, and this begins a new major mechanic for Expedition, exploring the ocean. Previously, a logbook was a single encounter. Now, using a logbook, you can send ships to explore an area of the ocean to the southeast, uncovering a range of islands to begin your search for Gwenyn. You can hop from island to island, doing many new encounters. There are islands with expeditions, grand expeditions.
Yeah. So, like, a big change that is coming to Expedition here. So, like, if we take a look at, or if we, okay, so let's imagine how the current logbook system in PoE2 works. Basically, you get, when you do the Expedition encounters in your maps, you have a chance to drop a logbook. That logbook is going to take you to one other area, similar to how it works at the moment with like fighting the different bosses and stuff. What is changing here is that one logbook is actually gonna reveal a larger area. Let's have a closer look here. Just give me a second. So a larger area here with multiple islands, multiple, basically, yeah, I guess. So some of the islands are gonna have very specific, they're gonna have like very specific, or they're gonna be more like similar to the old way of doing the expedition, right? What I'm wondering here is that if there's going to be any like increased chances for like getting expedition specific stuff on these like little island clusters here, or if it just like opens a little, part, just a little cluster of like different maps. There is one big change coming, and that's like the boss encounter of the expedition itself, which we are gonna hear more about in a second here.
New bosses, and
New
all
bosses.
sorts of other unique things to find.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so these clusters of islands are gonna have unique special things that you can only find on these islands, I guess.
Eventually, you will find the island that Gwenin has been holed up on. It turns out that she has found the tomb of an ancient Kalgurin, Medved. While she appreciates you coming to her rescue, she is still keen to blow open the doors of the vault and take whatever you can find inside. It's just a shame that Medved isn't as dead as you previously assumed. Now, after you have defeated Medved, you will find another logbook. And this time, you can use it to choose which direction you want to explore.
Ah, yeah, that's right. So killing Medved, is that his name? Killing him will allow for further expansion of like island hopping, basically. And you can kind of choose like what direction you want to go in.
The ocean is vast and contains a huge number of new islands to find.
That's cool.
With each logbook, you can explore one sector and you can go as deep as you like.
I wonder if like the deeper you go, the more rewarding it's gonna be.
There are all sorts of interesting objects to uncover and dungeons to explore.
Yeah, so it's really like almost like adding like a delve aspect almost to expedition, which is really cool.
Many of the islands have expeditions with totally new mechanics. So for example, here is a volcanic island with voltaxic sulfite. Blowing up the sulfite will unleash extra waves of enemies. But there is also this wall with a suspicious light coming from behind it. On blowing it open, a giant ogre comes out, and he is determined to eat as much sulfite as possible.
I mean, this is pretty similar to delve. So basically, like, delve is almost like a kind of a expedition is kind of, it's like almost in PoE 2 turning into like similar to how delve kind of works. Only thing about, like, the biggest difference here with expedition in PoE 2 and how delve works in PoE 1 is that you don't necessarily go around and kind of gather the sulfite to go down into the mines. Like, this is basically gonna be like, so how much you are able to expand the island hopping, it's gonna be very much like decided by like how strong you are, if you can actually like get to the next logbook. So it's gonna be like a logbook, almost like this logbook chase that you're on, just to kind of expand what you're able to do in the mechanic.
The more sulfite mounds that you have blown up, the more empowered and the more rewarding he will become. These islands contain all sorts of little secrets that you can find and blow up. Free trapped wisps, blow open root doors, even raise ancient precursor technology.
That's cool.
And of course, more bosses. There are more and further vaults to blow up, and one of them in particular is pretty important. The Tomb of Uhtred, the Star Drinker. Uhtred was responsible for calling down the meteors of Verisium, which the Kalgurans used to power their ancient magic. And upon defeating him, he calls down a truly gigantic one into the ocean nearby.
Oh, wow.
On visiting it, you find that it is shrouded by a strange energy emanating from the Verisium core of the meteor within. There is something growing in there, and it can't be anything good. In order to gain entry, Danig suggests that the Triskelion Flame, an ancient Kalguran artifact that can absorb and cancel the effects of Verisium magic, could be used to enter. But to find it, you will need to locate the Tomb of Olroth, leader of the Knights of the Sun.
Okay.
Defeat him and gain access to whatever eldritch nightmare is growing inside. Now, we're not going to spoil the boss, but one thing you should know is that the Verisium that makes up the core of the meteor is of a quality that has not been available for millennia.
Yeah, what's going to be inside there?
Bringing this to Pharaoh and Danig should allow them to forge some objects of power, the creation of which has been lost to time. So that's the League, and there is a lot going on.
Yeah, that's the League. Yeah, so kind of the expedition and the runes are a little bit like together now. I mean, that's so everything he's been talking about up until this point is kind of like the new League. So the runes and the expedition is yeah, kind of tied together. Special. So the cores are going to be containing special uniques, right? Found nowhere else, I guess. Question mark.
To sum all that up, there is a new encounter with over 30 new monster types and over 30 new rune modifiers to enhance them. You can create more than 100 new runes to craft your gear, as well as dozens of other new currency items. And there are new quests added to the campaign to unlock even more new crafting options. Rune forging armors,
For ward, right?
upgrading uniques, dozens of new Kalguran skills and supports,
That's cool.
tons of new islands to discover by exploring.
Yes, I wonder if it's 17 Kalgurian skills. Like is that like the active skills and the support skills combined, or is it like 17 new active ones and yeah, however many supports? I wonder.
The ocean, 5 new bosses, including a new pinnacle boss,
Yeah, that spider looks so
a
cool.
bunch of new uniques to top it off. But there is still a ton more to come. It's time to talk about the massive changes to the endgame.
Yep.
For that, I'll hand it back to Jonathan.
Now, as Mark hinted at before, the endgame atlas is very different now, and the ocean to the south is the least of the changes. The entire area around your starting location is now teeming with new questlines and things to discover. Will you investigate the strange forest to the west? The cracks in the earth to the east? Or perhaps visit the ruins of a Val city in the north? The atlas now has fixed points of interest at specific locations, giving you specific objectives that are easy to find. Like before though, no matter which objective you choose, going to towers to see what's out there is always a good idea. The first time you do that though, something new happens. The earth shakes,
Ooh.
and a gigantic fortress rises from the earth.
Yeah, the fortress. That's what it's called.
remnant of the ancient precursor civilization. The cataclysm of the beast has caused an ancient protocol to be invoked. Should corruption ever take hold to this degree, the world must be scoured and purged of corruption. You will need to make your way into the fortress and activate the gates. Gain the keys to reach these ancient precursor weapons.
Okay, so how do we actually activate this?
Purged of corruption.
I wonder.
You will need to make your way into the fortress and activate the gate.
Yes. We activate the gates. But we need something here to activate. Like, is it going to be just like a normal waystone, or are there going to be some requirements here? I guess we don't know yet.
Gates. Gain the keys to reach these ancient precursor weapons and disarm them. But this will be no easy task. The fortress has many areas to explore and many new things to find.
Ooh.
You will power up ancient machines, fight new and deadly foes, discover many new areas, and uncover some dark secrets.
Yeah, so I wonder, how do we enter the fortress? Like, is it going to be similar to the way we kind of like have... is it going to be similar to how we do like Arbiter? Like, are we going to need these fragments to access this area? Like, how are we going to be able to go inside the fortress, I wonder?
Now, the fortress is the first of the new full in-game storylines that we're adding in 050, and there's a lot going on with it. But not only that, it has some pretty cool new mechanics as well. The areas inside the fortress are special. Many of them have new mechanics or rewards that they grant. Like this map, where all the rares are contained in essence crystals.
New mechanics and
Which
secrets.
replaces all monster packs in the area with strongboxes.
Yeah, so that's so the maps or the waystones inside the fortress are gonna be different than outside the fortress. So basically, like, unique maps.
Or this one, which spawns an Asmeri spirit that always moves on from a rare after you kill it, allowing you to chase it through the entire map. Now, just like the normal areas of the Atlas, you'll need to fight the map boss of each area to complete the map. But unlike a normal map, the ones in the fortress each contain precursor nodes after the boss.
Oh.
And activating these nodes will give you points for the new and improved Atlas.
Ah. So, completing the fortress maps will grant Atlas skill points. Right?
Atlas passive tree. Now, we had an Atlas passive tree before, but it was one of the areas of the endgame that just wasn't up to scratch. The Atlas tree now works quite a lot differently.
So is the only way to get Atlas skill points, is the only way to get them actually like going into the fortress and doing the waystones?
We have significantly upgraded
Or the bosses in the waystones?
the kind of mechanics that you can find on the Atlas tree. Like this one, that gives a chance to make rogue exiles you fight retreat from combat and move to an adjacent map.
Okay.
Before you fight them again, they'll upgrade their gear and come back with a grudge this time.
So it seems like there's going to be more, it's going to be more, so in the Atlas itself, it's going to be more like interesting kind of encounter changes. Like if you get certain points, like you're going to have like basically new things happening across like every like every map. So it's going to be deeper than just like if you go in this direction on the Atlas, you're going to get more rarity. If you go on the other side, you're going to get more strong boxes. Like it seems like there are going to be more interesting mechanics that you can add via the Atlas skill point tree now. That's interesting.
A lot of nodes that combine mechanics together in new ways.
I mean, it really makes it so that when you get to the end game on like different characters, you might actually want to be picking different stuff. It's more obvious that you might want to be picking other stuff that's more like tailored towards the character you're playing at the moment, which I think is really cool because then so like how they are kind of how they are making this game is like it's a seasonal game. Like they are expecting a lot of players to come back every season on the launch of a new league, so they have to add things that are interesting. And one of the things one of the things that they do really well is that they add these new league mechanics, which is going to make the campaign feel different from season to season. Like there are going to be some differences. Because you're gonna find like the main league mechanic in every map of the campaign, right? But what they are also doing is that they're making or giving us so many choices with like the Atlas points as well, which I find really interesting because that means that you don't have to do the same thing. If you don't want to do like the same thing every league, like you can do something totally different. Just having those choices, I think it's a big win. Like those choices in every single like part of the game is just wins.
Like this one, which lets Ismeri spirits possess strongboxes. All the regular monsters that come out of them are touched by the spirit, and the rares are all possessed, giving you some incredible loot potential.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like I really feel like here they are doing some changes to strongboxes, and that's like one of the things that I was actually talking about in my predictions, or what I was hoping was going to come in 0.5. Like I was thinking what's going to change with strongboxes. So just getting like in the Atlas skill tree, just getting this Asmeri spirits may seek out and possess strongboxes. It just gives that aspect to strongboxes, which is like, okay, so now something potentially exciting is going to happen. So the way it is current, is the only thing you're thinking about is like if you are strong enough to kind of like tackle or handle what's inside the strongbox, and a lot of the times you just run past them because you don't feel like it's necessarily worth it because it's so super random. Like here we can be a little bit more deterministic with the strong boxes, like actually making us want to hunt them down, you know, in the maps, and not just like see that they are there and think, okay, yeah, whatever, let's just move on to the next map, because there are other mechanics that are more interesting, basically. So it's I think this is a good change to strong boxes. I hope it's going to be interesting to see like how if there are a lot of other nodes like this, you know, that's going to be like bring some changes to how the strong boxes behave, basically.
You get points from every single area you complete in the fortress, and unlike before, that means you can allocate the entire Atlas tree. Yes.
That's so freaking cool. Like when I was watching the live reveal yesterday, I wanted to stop here because I really wanted to talk about this. What I really hope is that this is also gonna be including the league mechanics. I hope this is going to be the same for like the other mechanics as well, not just like the main Atlas. I hope it's going to be the same with Breach, with Abyss, with Ritual, Temple, freaking everything, right? I hope it's going to be the same. I really, really hope. Please make it the same. I really hope, because being able to get all of the points in the mechanics trees as well. I mean, it's going to make it a lot stronger. It's going to make that mechanic a lot stronger, but it's also really going to incentivize us to do it, to do more of each specific mechanic, I think. But just like being able to grab every single node in the Atlas is it's amazing.
This whole tree can be yours.
Mm-hmm.
This change is pretty important since it allows us to be able to create many types of bonuses that we wouldn't have been able to create before. Like this one, which gives a chance for cities to be invaded by another faction.
What the heck is this? A city being invaded by another faction? So that means that there are going to be monsters in those maps that are actually fighting each other. They're not only skulking around looking for you, but they are actually also fighting each other. Super interesting.
And can even allow it to contain 2 faction leaders, allowing you to get 2 crisis fragments. If we'd done this kind of thing in the old tree, we would have wanted to spec into it before running a city map, then unspec out of it before running anything else. With full allocation, we can have cool bonuses like these. Now obviously we still want to make sure that you have choices that define your in-game Atlas build. So many nodes in the Atlas tree are now multi-choice. You'll get the node, but which bonus you choose to use is up to you.
That's cool. Many nodes are multiple choice. With different mods to choose from.
Do you want your powerful boss maps to contain more essences, summoning circles, or rogue exiles? But there's also nodes that contain more unusual things. So for example, on this node you can choose. Do you want to give a chance for shrines to instead be given to the map boss in the area, making them more challenging but dropping special loot? Or would you rather give a chance to be given a shrine buff before entering boss arenas, making for an easier fight?
Yeah, so you can actually go in there and you can actually choose. Do you want to make the bosses harder or do you want to make them easier? I think that's a crazy change, not gonna lie. Like, I mean, it all depends. So basically, when you're in maps where you are kind of like a little bit like underpowered, or you feel like a little, like almost like a little too weak to handle that tier of content, you can actually change how you want the bosses to behave. Because usually, like, the bosses are the most dangerous thing in the map, right?
Now, I could probably nerd out about cool
Or, I mean, like, that's how it should be.
stuff in the tree all day, but we should probably get back to the fortress. Now, one of the really important things we wanted to do was make it so that all the boss fights in the endgame are now accessible with a quest line. That means that to fight the Arbiter of Ash for the first time, you don't need to get lucky by finding keys. They will be in fixed locations and there's a quest to get them.
Okay.
But the Arbiter of Ash is no longer the pinnacle of Path of Exile 2. For that, you'll need to travel into the very center of the fortress.
So the center of the fortress contains the new pinnacle boss.
An incredible challenge awaits you should you choose to go there. After the storyline, you still unlock keys for pinnacle bosses in the usual way, exploring the world and finding the keys required to get to them.
The Citadel.
But we've added a lot more interesting things to find out there as well. There are
Okay, so that means that you are still able to fight Arbiter the old way by getting the fragments from the citadels. So it's not going to be removed. Like, this new pinnacle is going to be something that's added.
now all sorts of
The fortress pinnacle.
mechanics that can spawn on maps in the wilderness. For example, some maps might spawn as a rogue exile hunting ground, containing multiple rogue exiles who are there to hunt rare beasts. You might come upon them in the middle of a fight and be able to take out both of them. Or a map of champions that makes all the natural inhabitants of the area into magic monsters.
Okay, so in general, like regular Atlas way. Regular Atlas maps contain new modifiers. New, yeah. I guess like randomized, right? New. Random modifiers.
Or this one that causes all shrines in the area to release as merry spirits when used. Once you have explored and found your keys, you can return to fight the Pinnacle and the Fortress again. But this version of him will be harder. And not only that, you will have new unique rewards as well. Each time you fight him, you get the ability to activate one section of the fortress, and any maps that you didn't finish there will be automatically completed, giving you all the Atlas points. So if you're the type of player who doesn't want to explore the fortress, and instead just race out into the infinite Atlas, you still have a way to get all those points. So that's the Origins of Divinity storyline.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like, I don't really feel like I understand that system yet. I think like Fortress is going to be its own freaking beast. Like, it's going to be its own beast to handle.
It's a huge amount of new content with a ton of new areas, 5 new bosses, including a pinnacle, with a bunch of new unique items. But not only that, it also completely revamps the Atlas tree and includes a ton of new map mechanics that you can find both inside and outside the fortress. But this is just one of the new storylines. So let's talk about the next one now, Masters of the Atlas. Now earlier we talked about how the multi-choice nodes in the tree allow you to still have an in-game Atlas build, but we didn't think that was quite enough. You have an Ascendancy class for your passive tree. Why not an Ascendancy class for your Atlas tree? Well, that's where the Masters of the Atlas come in. Throughout Rayclast are many opportunities for those with the skills to find them. Atlas Masters are willing to train you in these skills if you're able to help them in return. One such master is Jado, a member of the Order of the Jinn, an organization that secures powerful artifacts to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. Jado will send you on missions to investigate strange occurrences on the Atlas and recover the artifacts causing them. And for each one you recover, he will gain more trust in you and teach you more ways of the Order of the Jinn. At level 1, you could choose to massively increase the chance for rare and unique chests, or make it so that all map bosses drop an additional unique item, or make corrupted waystones have an additional modifier.
Yeah, so just like exploring and understanding what each of these masters are gonna be like giving you, super interesting. And I also like, I wonder, are we gonna be able to kind of like switch between them on the fly? So can we kind of train with each one of them, like increasing our reputation with them, or their trust in us, and then we can kind of switch between them? Or do we have to like stick to one?
But at the cost of making them send you to a totally unknown location.
Also, I think it's really, really cool that they are actually sending us out on these like specific missions. That also gives like a lot of direction.
Each mission you complete for Jado will unlock another row of abilities and give you another point to allocate, letting you choose how you want to specialize. But there are other masters too. For example, Hilda. Hilda is a member of a guild of monster hunters. She will send you on missions to assassinate specific deadly creatures around Rayclast and harvest their parts. In exchange, she will teach you her monster hunting skills, like this one, which adds a 25% chance to upgrade any map boss to a powerful version. Or this one, which makes his Marian spirits no longer possess rare monsters, making them go for the unique bosses in the area instead.
That's so cool.
You might notice that many of the effects on these are both upsides and downsides. So Hilda, for example, can make it so that you only get one attempt when fighting pinnacle bosses. But in exchange for that, they always drop 2 uniques.
Ooh.
Because of that, we wanted it to be easy to swap between them depending on what you're doing. As you unlock each master, they will appear on the side of the screen. Simply click whichever one you want.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. So, when they are all unlocked, you can switch between them. Switch between them between each map, right?
To use to run the map, and all the bonuses you have selected for that master will be activated. This allows you to have a few different strategies that you can quickly
That's really cool.
depending on what you're running at the moment.
That's really cool.
Now, one thing that's been pretty obvious is that the in-game leagues we created when launching Early Access in 0.10 were not really up to the standard of the leagues we did since then. Fate of the Vaal and Rise of the Abyssal just have a lot more going on than Delirium or Expedition, for example. We wanted to do a serious upgrade to all of these mechanics before we do our 1.0 release, and so that's what we've done. All 4 of the leagues we launched in Early Access have been upgraded with not only new quest lines, but new mechanics, new crafting systems, new uniques, and new pinnacle bosses. One of the really important changes we made to all the leagues is that you can now find them on the Atlas in specific locations, and each one has a quest line that will lead you there to being able to complete the league, along with its Atlas tree and its pinnacle boss. This is true even for the leagues that we didn't do major redesigns to. So let's use Abyss as an example. When you first encounter one in the endgame, you'll get a quest that leads you to the east, where you will find these mega abyss cracks in the earth leading away from the Well of Souls. All the maps along the cracks will contain abysses with special properties, and mapping along these cracks will close the Atlas scale abysses, giving you points for the Abyss Atlas tree. At the end of each...
Okay, so that's how you get points, just by doing those maps along the cracks.
Atlas Abyss, you'll find an abyssal depths with the boss fight for one of the abyssal factions, giving you a guaranteed way to fight them. And after completing all 3, you'll get a key for the Well of Souls, allowing you to fight the Vessel of Kulamak. This kind of thing makes an in-game league so
Okay, hold on.
more free, allowing you a way to fight them. And after completing all 3, you'll get a key for the Well of Souls.
Completing all three what?
These mega abyss cracks in the earth leading away from the Well of Souls. All the maps along the cracks will contain abysses with special properties, and mapping along these cracks will close the Atlas scale abysses, giving you points for the Abyss Atlas tree. At the end of each Atlas Abyss, you'll find an abyssal depths with the boss fight for one of the abyssal factions.
Okay. Okay, so there is a boss fight in every single depth. Okay. Abyss updates. Yeah, so complete maps alongside abyssal cracks to get points. For the mechanic. And also each depth has a boss encounter,
giving you a guaranteed way to fight them. And after completing all 3, you'll get a key for the Well of Souls, allowing you to fight the Vessel of Kulamak.
Okay, so complete the
makes an
3
in-game league so much more friendly for new players.
different
Obvious goals
bosses
and a guided experience to complete them.
to fight.
Alright, so let's talk about the first of the upgraded leagues, Delirium, and its new storyline, The Hare and the Raven.
Mechanic boss.
As you may remember, during Act 4 you were tricked into releasing an ancient entity from a Karui prison known as Tangmazu, the Raven Trickster. Tangmazu delights in breaking the minds of those who step through his mirrors, and when touching one, he will attempt to destroy your mind with twisted abominations generated from your worst fears.
The reward bar is back.
In Return of the Ancients, the first time you approach one of his delirium encounters in the endgame, you will find Elder Maddox locked in a trance. His mind is trapped in one of Tangmazu's delusions.
Those mirrors look so much cooler now as well.
You will need to free him. Once free, Elder Maddox demands that as you caused this problem, you should put it right. He asks you to travel west to the Withered Willow, the location he believes that Tangmazu first gained his powers. But be careful. As you travel there, the Raven Trickster will attempt to break your mind. Each map around the Withered Willow features delirium encounters. Now this is more than a simple quest upgrade. The mechanic of delirium has been overhauled and expanded. At the bottom of the screen, there is now a bar that indicates how deep into delirium you are. You can see which direction leads deeper by looking at the fog, and the deeper you go, the more challenges you will face. By looking at the bar, you can see how long you have until the delirium ends. And you can also see special encounters that you will face if you're able to go deep enough into the fog. At the end of the bar is always the boss of the map, but we now have a variety of other encounters that you might find as you explore the horrors of your own mind. For example, you might encounter a purple mirror shard that when shattered will cause all the enemies to become nightmarish. After hitting this, you'll notice the delirium.
Yeah, so they are adding different shards that has different effects on your encounter.
Delirium demons are enhanced, significantly more powerful, larger, and scarier in general, along with more rewards. Or should you encounter a red mirror shard, you'll be sent into the depths of your mind. And must escape it while fighting off hordes of your worst fears.
So cool. This is such a freaking upgrade.
If you are able to do so, you will gain a powerful amulet with 2 instilled notables on it. Once you reach the Withered Willow, Elder Maddox discovers that a shard of the mirror is missing.
I mean, that's really going to incentivize like crafting as well, right? I mean, and also I think that's going to be good for trade.
You will need to track down Tangmazu and restore it if you have a hope of discovering how to defeat him. And that means entering the Raven Trickster's mirrors in an attempt to locate him. Each area around the Withered Willow contains delirium encounters, so that's a good place to start. As you do deliriums, some of the special encounters will drop liquid emotions. Normally these emotions can be used to instill amulets to add notable passive buffs to them, but in Return of the Ancients, emotions have a new function as well. Each one now has the ability to add crafted mods to jewels, allowing you to add specific mods to an item slot that can be quite difficult to roll. For example, Liquid Despair will allow you to add critical hit chance, while Liquid Suffering will allow you to add movement speed or Air of Effect to your jewels, but there are many more.
That's really cool.
Delirium encounters, the location of a grand mirror, an entrance into Tangmazu's realm is revealed, but it won't be that simple to enter. Using his powers, he reflects the map boss for a ridiculous empowered fight, then destroys the entrance into his realm of madness.
So it's no longer only the amulets that you can instill with emotions, you can also instill your jewels. That's really cool.
In order to find him now, you'll need to let the insanity fully into your mind. A strange fruit is left behind which you can consume to fully embrace the madness in an attempt to reach the Raven Trickster's realm. Consuming the fruit will cover an entire area of the Atlas in fog, and every map you do in the fog will get progressively harder and harder as you explore the deeper reaches of your mind.
Oh my god. Yeah, so it's cover sections in fog. So we can cover sections of the Atlas in fog, and with each fogged map cleared, increased difficulty in the next connected fogged map. Yeah, that was a weird way to form that sentence, but like we understand what it is.
At some point you enter a new layer. A simulacrum of your memories, twisted and perverted by the Raven Trickster. Should you be able to complete the simulacrum, Tangmazu will believe that you are worthy of a true challenge. And will let you take the remaining shard of his mirror, allowing you to enter his realm of madness back at the Wither.
I mean, it's so much deeper.
Willow. If you dare to face him, it will be a fearsome challenge. So, that's the new storyline of Delirium. As you can see, it's not only a questline, there are new mechanics, new crafting options, and new boss fights. But one question you might have is, what happens after? Well, once you've completed the story, grand mirrors will start appearing on the Atlas sometimes after completing Delirium encounters. After doing the grand mirror, you can select where on the Atlas you want to do your fruit-induced drug trip and get another key to fight Tangmazu. But this time, the fight will be quite a bit harder. And
that's so cool.
Not only that, the fight will be able to drop a bunch of new uniques that were not available in the quest.
That's so cool, like deciding, like using that fruit thing, deciding to, or like, I mean, obviously completing that encounter so that we can decide what, like an area of the Atlas that we want to like fog out, and we go there to do that, do those maps to get the key to fight the Pinnacle again.
Line version. We'll show some of those later. After doing a grand
So
mirror,
cool.
the decision of where to spread the fog can be important because there are some potent emotions that only come from certain map bosses affected by Delirium this way.
Ah,
Like all
okay.
emotions, they can craft special mods onto jewels, but these potent emotions can create mods that you can't get any other way.
Oh wow.
So for example, potent liquid melancholy is an emotion that can only come from human bosses and allows you to add a variety of on-hit effects. Also, you might want to try instilling amulets with these emotions. They could have some interesting effects with some powerful notables that do not normally exist on the tree. Like Storm's Rebuke, which makes armor break boost your cold and lightning damage. But also notables from a clearly deranged mind, like Calm's Blessing. This skill allows you to ancestrally boost fire spells after using a war cry. How about using an ancestral flame blast? Now, just like before, you can also upgrade the League by getting points for a dedicated Delirium Atlas tree. But this now works in a much better way and has much cooler effects. The maps in the Delirium area of the Atlas give you Delirium passive points for completing them, so it's easy to see how to progress. Some nodes will add new types of mirror shard encounters to your Deliriums. Like this one, which will pause the Delirium for some amount of time, allowing you to more easily get to higher depths. Or this one, which adds extra Delirium modifiers to monsters when you pick it up. There are also nodes that can add new types of drops, like this one, which modifies simulacrum encounters to add special liquid emotions, which can craft time-lost jewels. And
Ooh.
nodes that apply to the Atlas mechanics of the League.
Determine it. So we can now deterministic. Timeless jewel crafting. We can actually craft timeless jewels now.
Like this one, which causes the Grand Mirror to spread Delirium fog over a larger area of the Atlas, potentially containing multiple simulacrums. Alright, so that's the changes to Delirium. The core mechanic now includes a bunch of new things to find, new monsters to kill, and has new mechanics on the Atlas. It also has new crafting system for jewels, and over 20 new unlockable notables for amulets. Not only that, but you have a new Pinnacle boss with a bunch of new unique items, and a massively upgraded Atlas tree just for Delirium. But there's still a lot more to come, so let's talk about Breach next. When you first do a Breach in the endgame, you will find Aelith, one of the Keepers of the Flame, an ancient order of monks dedicated to preventing the Hiveborn from entering the world. As you seem to be a keen slayer of demons, Aelith would like to recruit you to the order and asks that you travel to their monastery to the south. On the way there, you'll start to encounter more breaches, and will notice one of the first changes to the breach mechanic. You still have to kill monsters as fast as you can to keep the breach open, but now you can visibly see how much time you have left to keep it open, and how each kill extends its duration. Once you've reached the monastery, you will learn more about the Keepers. In the 25 years since the events of Keepers of the Flame in Path of Exile 1, the war with the Hiveborn has not gone well, and they have managed to establish a foothold in the world nearby. A gigantic area has fallen to the Scourge, and the Keepers are unable to get inside. Inside the monastery is the Genesis Tree, a powerful asset to the war effort, stolen from the enemy and gifted to the Keepers by the Dreamer himself. Using the tree, Aelith could create a breach stone and penetrate the Hiveborn foothold, but without Hive Blood, the tree has withered. To get Hive Blood, you will need to take advantage of another new mechanic of Breach. If you can keep the otherworldly portal open for long enough, the Breach will stabilize and will enter a new phase. The Hiveborn will send their toughest miscreations to defeat you, and the Breach will not close until you can annihilate them, dropping Hive Blood that you can use to restore the Genesis tree. In some cases, you may even attract one of the deadliest foes the Hiveborn can offer, a Marshal of Zesht. These monsters also drop womb gifts, and if you take these to the Genesis tree, they can be used to craft items to help you in the war against the Hiveborn. Given that 25 years have passed since the beginning of the war, the tree has grown and withered many times, but with each cycle it learns and expands its abilities. When you first open the Genesis tree, you will notice these holes into which you can place your womb gifts. Each womb gift can be used to create a different type of jewelry, and must be fertilized with Hive.
Okay, hold on. So there are gonna be 4. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger for now. Okay, so what we're gonna have 4 different womb gifts. We're gonna have the banded one, which is growing into a belt, the ornate one growing into an amulet, signet one growing into a ring, and lavish one growing into currency. Okay, so it's belt, amulet, and rings. So, okay, and or currency. So it's not gonna work in the same way as like it was in PoE 1 at least. Like, I did not play a lot of Mirage League, so I don't know if like the tree was changed going from like the Keepers to Mirage. I don't know. But in the Keepers of the Flame League in Path of Exile 1, we was actually able to craft like uniques, Foulborn uniques and stuff. But it seems like we're only gonna have these 4 womb gifts in the PoE 2 version for now, at least.
Blood.
So my point is that there were a lot of more options in the PoE 1, at least on that league launch.
So for example, you can place this amulet womb gift into the tree, and it will give birth to a random rare amulet. But the Genesis tree is capable of much more. As you continue to feed the tree, its branches will regenerate and allow you more and more control over what kind of items it will birth. So for example, this branch of the tree will allow you to control which base types of amulets can be birthed.
Yeah, so it's kind of like almost like deterministically crafting rings, belts, and amulets.
And as you go deeper, it will even allow you to create new base types that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool that like it can actually create unique base types that you cannot get anywhere else. So that means that you do want to kind of engage with the tree just for that cause. Yeah, food was great. Food was great. It was spicy, but it was good. Asher amulets all the way. Yeah.
Like this one, which gives you an entire spirit skill for free.
That's cool.
Or this one, which has a rune socket in it. To the left and right are branches that will let you control which mods the amulet can get, including making sure that they're higher level.
Yeah, so what I really hope is that like the tree is gonna include more gifts. I hope that they're gonna be adding more gifts into this. Because right now, it's only gonna be like the belts, the rings, and the amulets. I mean, obviously the currency things as well, but I would love for it to be the other items as well, like the armor types, like the helmets, body armors, boots. I would love to have it include that as well. At some point, if they don't add another mechanic that's gonna do like this, do like that specific thing for like the other like body armor or body pieces, not only the jewelry. Unless they are adding that to some other mechanic, I mean, the Genesis tree would be a great way to just in general do some like deterministic crafting.
Controlling which
I mean, it's gonna require you to invest some time into the breach mechanic, obviously. But yeah. So I see like potential like two different outcomes. So either they are gonna keep like expanding the Genesis tree to include other types of items, or they're gonna have to have some other mechanic that's like more deterministic for those other types of items. But I think like just expanding on the Genesis tree itself, I mean, it would be putting a lot into one mechanic, but like in PV1, I felt like it was working really good how that was set up. So right now, or at 0.5 at least, the Genesis tree is gonna have like the main focus of those three things, to kind of like deterministically craft.
specific mods that they will always have. With 15 points to allocate, you will have to choose wisely how you want to specialize your craft.
With 15 points to allocate? Okay, yeah. Right, so you're only gonna get 15 for each womb.
But it's worth noting that this tree doesn't have any cost to respecking it. You can
That's
enable or
cool.
disable the nodes at any time by clicking on them.
Very good.
On rings, we've also added some really interesting new crafting options as well. You have a bunch of new base types like these, but you also have entire new classes of mods that can be added. The right-hand branch of the ring tree adds an entire new set of caster mods to rings. From basics like extra elemental damage for spells, or more niche options like this mod that
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a closer look at the base types.
On rings, we've also added some really interesting new crafting options as well.
Okay, so we have the biostatic base type. That's a new base type. +1 all maximum resistances. We have the kinetic one. Added physical damage to attacks. Vitalic, increased max life. Oneric, chaos damage, increased chaos damage. Mnemonic, 5% increased max mana. And the grasping one. This item gains bonuses from socketed items as though it was gloves. Yeah, that's interesting. Physical damage is nice, yes, but also like the 17% increased chaos damage. Like, that would be great for like, yeah, if you're doing like a chaos damage based build. This one is also really interesting. The item gains bonuses from socketed items as though it was gloves. Like, this is interesting. So if you get a socket into this ring, like, that's huge, I think. Like, that we're actually getting sockets in the rings. Grasping, you assume will be for the monk. Yeah, I mean, it could work for a lot of things, you know. Oh yeah, you mean like the yeah, you mean like if you're doing like the unarmed monk style build.
A bunch of new base types like these, but you also have entire new classes of mods that can be added. The right-hand branch of the ring tree adds an entire new set of caster mods to rings. From basics like extra elemental damage for spells, or more niche options like this mod that increases the rate you gain seals for Unleash. And on the left-hand side, you can unlock an entire new set of mods for minion characters. This stuff is actually pretty important, because casters and minion builds didn't have as many slots with interesting item crafting compared to attack builds. The Genesis tree narrows that gap.
Yeah, so basically it's kind of like the tree is kind of like focusing. It's kind of focusing more on the yeah, like this more like very specific crafts, and also it has these like, so like the caster specific wombs as well, I guess.
There are also trees for belts and currency. I won't go over them too much here, but there are all sorts of goodies in these too, like being able to create.
Okay, let's have a look at what they are actually adding here in the currency one. Okay, so in the currency one, you can get ruby catalysts, adds quality that enhances fire modifiers on a jewel. Okay, replaces other quality? Bro, these are adding quality to jewels. Ah, interesting. So the catalysts usually you can only use on rings and amulets, right? But now you can actually use catalysts on jewels as well. So we have this ruby one. The quartz one adds quality that enhances caster modifiers. Tourmaline one enhances attribute modifiers. And Nephrit enhances armor evasion and energy shield modifiers. Huh. Yeah, so basically they are catalysts for specific mods on your jewels. And we can put jewels in armor and stuff too. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, this is interesting. Very interesting.
New catalysts for jewels. Or a belt that gives lightning damage.
Oh, okay, so this is okay. This can also come from the currency tab. Huh? Can we get this from the currency?
The Genesis tree narrows that gap. There are also trees for belts.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, actually, they kind of, okay, so we kind of covered the currency one first, and then he just instantly moved to the belt after.
I won't go over them too much here, but there are all sorts of goodies in these too, like being able to create new catalysts for jewels, or a belt that gives lightning damage. Once you've done enough breach encounters, you may finally get a womb gift capable of birthing a breach stone.
A womb gift? Hold on.
Once you've done enough breach encounters, you may finally get a womb gift capable of birthing a breach stone.
I don't understand what it's saying right here. A womb gift capable of birthing a breach stone? What? Huh? What?
And you can then use it on the Hiveborn incursion.
Ah, okay. So you have your own womb. I just don't understand that aspect, because you still have to get like the splinters, right? But 300 of them or something automatically turns into a breach stone. Like what? What is he doing here? Okay, let's have a closer look. Yeah, okay, so this is 297 breach splinters. And he, combined 300 splinters to create revelatory womb gift. Okay. Okay, so this is a revelatory womb gift. Can't grow into a bridgestone. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so you first have to get the 300 splinters. Then you have to turn that into a revelatory womb gift that can grow into a bridgestone on the Genesis tree. So first you get the splinters, then you get the womb gift, then you put the womb gift into its womb, and then what happens?
And you can then use it on the Hiveborn incursion.
Yeah, that's the bridgestone.
Once used, the true extent of the Breach Demon's foothold becomes clear.
Oh my god. And that's what happens when you use the bridgestone. You just like turn an entire freaking area here of the Atlas into like a breach area.
They have not only transformed the land, but constructed huge sky hives as well. When you enter the outskirts of their realm...
Ooh, okay. So we are... Okay, are we instantly going into like the hive-styled zones here? So we can't use the splinters no more. It's a chance to get... No, I think you're guaranteed to get a stone. I think you are guaranteed to get a stone. I don't think we can use the splinters like we used to, no. So basically what you're chasing is like 300 stones that you turn into a breach stone, and then you kind of like unlock this entire area, which is like the hive styled area from PoE 1. Sorry, not the hive styled area, but like the it's like a zone that has like all these different walls, and it has these specific breach encounters. If we keep watching, I guess he's gonna tell us.
You will discover breach hives. Using the power of the Keepers of the Flame, these otherworldly structures can be burned away when walking through them. But for each one destroyed, more of the Hiveborn will attack when you attempt to purge the hive.
So basically these are kind of like breach specific areas. And we have like a mechanic basically in the middle of it, which is going to spawn like this wave encounter, and you have to beat all the waves.
These encounters are particularly rewarding for womb gifts, so you'll want to do as many of these as you can.
Yeah, so these encounters are, yeah, like he said, it's going to be, there's going to be more womb gifts and stuff. But it seems like all the encounters in the area, like when you unlock that big area of like the breach particular zone of the Atlas, it seems like all of those encounters, all of those maps are going to be these type of encounters, it seems like.
But your real goal are the sky hives deeper into the domain.
Yeah, this is the fortress. So the fortress is like, that's like a little mini dungeon that you go into. And basically it's kind of similar to the past zone that you was in, but like the hive is more difficult. And you are kind of defending Aelith. That's what you're doing. You're defending this NPC. But what will we get from completing this encounter?
These twisted creations are securing the demon's entry into our world. Inside the very center are the Breach Lords Tool and Ash, and you'll need to defeat them if you want to get rid of the foothold once and for all.
Okay.
Now, once you've completed the questline version, there is still more to do. You will find other breach domains on the Atlas randomly in your travels. For each one, you will need to find a...
Yeah, that's what they are called, breach domains, and the way you unlock the domains is by using the breach stones.
breach stone, destroy the sky hives, and defeat the breach lords. And doing these encounters is what will give you access to fight Zesht, the existing breach pinnacle boss, which you can...
Okay, during these encounters, you will get the chance to fight Zesht. Okay, so how is that going to work?
access by communing with the Dreamer himself inside the monastery.
Okay.
While completing the questline for Breach, you will also be gaining points for the Breach Atlas tree.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of cool new options here. This node will cause breach hives to spawn outside of the hive-born domains on the Atlas.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so you can actually, you don't actually have to go to like the hived domains to do these type of encounters. You can actually, yeah, add the hives to nearby maps. That's interesting.
And this one will give Aelith additional abilities that you can use while attacking a hive.
The womb gift tab is going to be 2 billion monies. Yeah. So the thing is that in at least in PoE1, like in the monastery, so you hear him keep talking about the monastery, right? Monastery is like, that's where you can find the Genesis tree where you do the crafting and stuff. In PoE1 at least, there is its own stash kind of connected to the, like it's right next to the tree where you can actually store your womb gifts and stuff. I don't know if that's going to be the case in PoE2 though. Don't know. But at least in PoE1 or at launch, like when the rework to Breach was done in PoE1, we actually had this. It's this own little, you know, stash. This own little chest where you can stash womb gifts and stuff. Like the relic stash? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yeah. It's like connected to the Genesis tree. But I don't know if that's going to be the case in PoE2. I have no idea. But I'm assuming that's going to be the case.
Like this one, which causes all Hiveborn in the next wave to be magic, drastically increasing their difficulty in exchange.
Really? Okay, that's kind of interesting. I don't remember from PoE1 Breach update that you were actually able to make the encounter more difficult. Like the only things that, or the things that you could trigger like around the encounter was more of like defensive things, not like making things harder. So that's interesting. So if you accidentally like press the wrong modifier, it's gonna make it harder.
For way more items. There are also nodes that allow you to control your rewards, like this one, which adds a set of new lineage supports to the Marshal of Zet.
Okay, what the heck is this? Okay, we need to take a closer look at this one. Okay, so this is one of the mechanic points you can assign. Rune Marshal of Zesht has a 25% chance to drop a lineage support. Okay, and I guess that the lineage support is this one specifically, which is Rune's Aftermath. Supports war cries, causing them to destroy ice crystals and ice fragments. Supported skills empower additional attacks if they destroy enough ice crystals and ice fragments. Okay, cause ice crystal to explode, detonates, ice fragments. Supported war cries, empower 3 additional attacks if they destroy at least 5 total ice. Okay, so this kind of like incentivizes making a, I guess like a frost warrior or a frost war cry build. AoE spam. yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Like I want, like I really hope more of the lineage supports are being like, can really like inspire like totally different build ideas. Like that's what I want them. Like that's how exciting I want the lineage supports to be.
Or this one, which lets you control which womb gifts you will get.
Yeah, that's interesting. You can actually increase the chance of the specific womb gifts. That's interesting.
There's also some nodes that affect the Genesis tree, like this one, which will cause Zesh to drop his head, which when returned to the Genesis tree, will grow a grasping orchid on the side of it.
Grasping
You'll have to experiment to find
Bro, what the heck?
out what this thing is good for.
Oh yeah, this is the ring one. This is the ring. The ring thing. Okay, so to summarize, you have a breach mechanic skill point, right? That you will get from completing the breach encounters, right? Inside the domain, I guess, you will get those skill points. one of them is going to allow you to take the head of Zesht, and if you bring that to the tree, that will create this orchard where you can do something specifically with your breach rings. Like, he's not going to tell us what it is, but...
Genesis tree, like this one, which will cause Zesht to drop his head, which when returned to the Genesis tree, will grow a grasping orchid on the side of it. You'll have to experiment to find out what this thing is good for. Putting rings on its fingers seems to make it happy.
Okay. Seems to make it happy?
So that's a rundown of what...
Bro, but do you have to put 6? So right now it says like, yeah, it's 1 out of 60. Like, do you have to put 60 breach rings in here to be able to hit like the exchange button? Is it going to be like a 60 to 1 type of exchange?
Fingers seems to make it happy. So that's a rundown of what you can expect from the new Breach questline. There's a new stabilization mechanic for breaches, hive encounters,
Yep.
and hiveborn incursions on the Atlas.
Highborn
Also a
incursions.
huge new crafting system and new bosses as well.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's talk about the Rite of the Nameless storyline next.
Okay.
When you first complete a ritual in the endgame, Aoife, a lost spirit, will appear. She appears to need your help, but isn't able to communicate more than a few words, beckoning you to come to the Wildwood. Like the other leagues, Ritual now has a place on the Atlas to call home. The Wildwood could be found to the west.
Yeah, 60 seems like a lot though. Yeah, so it's probably like 60 is the cap, so if you put 60 in, you're gonna get something really nice. But it's probably gonna have these like thresholds, right? Right? Like 10, 20, 30. Maybe the rings are more common. Yeah, maybe. Or, I mean, it's just like adding this additional, like, so the thing is that the rings tend to kind of just stack in your inventory. The thing is that if you're, usually because like they are not necessarily super good, you know, but usually they just end up in a big like tab in our inventory. But if you now have like a specific mechanic, you know, specific mechanic that's gonna let you get rid of those rings and like turn them into something really good. I mean, it's just that's just going to be like a sync. Those mechanics are good because that means they don't necessarily have to change the rings themselves. They just like have to add this system where if you combined 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 of them, you're just going to get something that's kind of like guaranteed something way better than what's already sitting in your stash, I guess. Breach rings times 60 turns into breach hula hoop. Yeah. How cool would it be though if like more of the items could be like breach specific? Breach belt, breach helmet, breach axe, breach wand. I think that would be really cool. With some like specific things that would be good for breach, right?
When you first arrive there, Aoife's spirit will guide you in, where you will discover that inside the Wildwood, spirits can take physical form.
We need a cloak slot. Oh my god, bro. I agree. Yeah, it's just like the amounts of customization, you know? Just more, you know? More ways to modify the different slots that's already in there, and also like more slots. What about toe rings? What about freaking like being able to put 10 rings on your fingers, not just 2? Under armor, yeah. Socks.
Form. Aoife has been bound to this place by the King in the Mists, and requests that you free her. But in order to do so, you will need her body, currently in possession of the King. To reclaim it, you will need to gain an audience with him. Inside the Wildwood, there are many ritual encounters to complete. Like before, in each area, triggering rituals will resurrect the nearby bound monsters to attack you, and killing the monsters will give you tribute. In addition, each ritual you do in the area will add the monsters from the previous ritual, making the encounters much more challenging the more rituals you complete. Once you've completed them, spend your tribute to get items. Now, an important change to the rewards of Ritual is that all the items in the reward window are now uniques or omens, making this league's rewards...
Oh. So all the items... Yeah, so I was... Yeah, okay, so favors are kind of like the items, right? So all the favors / items are either uniques or omens. That's what it said, right?
Much more. The items in the... Each ritual you do in the area will add the monsters from the previous ritual, making the encounters much more challenging the more rituals you complete. Once you've completed them, spend your tribute to get items.
Spend your... Yeah.
Now, an important change to the rewards of Ritual is that all the items in the reward window are now uniques or omens.
Okay. So that makes it so that Ritual is going to be like a deterministic way to farm uniques and omens. You know? That's really interesting. That's really interesting because it makes it way more specific. Like there's like in the current version of Ritual, like there are so many of those items or so many of those favors in there that are trash. Now we actually at least are guaranteed something that's good or has the potential to be good. Yeah, it's always been the Omen farm. Yeah. I mean, basically it's always been the Omen farm, but like all the other stuff that was in there just felt so out of place. Now it's going to be guaranteed Omen or uniques. So if you're looking for specific uniques, I mean, I guess it has the potential to have some of those really good uniques as well, right? Like the Mage Blood and the Headhunters.
Making this league's rewards much more valuable than before.
Yeah, much more valuable.
In order to gain an audience with the Nameless King, you need to sacrifice tribute.
I mean, I think like the changes to uniques and the way you can upgrade uniques now as well is going to increase the value of just uniques straight up, right? It's going to increase the value of uniques, and I think it's also going to like increase the just like the experimentation and the like the want for, or like, yeah, the want for specific uniques. No one's going to want to I don't think no one is going to want to just destroy them, just like sell them for 1,000 gold or just like get one freaking chance shard, you know. Now it's going to be all about upgrading them. Can't wait for the market to be a lot of uniques for 5x. Yeah, that's kind of like what we are. Yeah. If you want to kind of like just get the non-upgraded ones, obviously, and yeah, upgrade them. But it's also probably going to be a market for the upgraded ones. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shape out.
To him. Any remaining tribute you don't spend can be sacrificed this way to fill up this bar.
Offer. That's the cool thing also, the offer. Tribute to the king. This is cool.
Once you have enough tribute for an audience, return to the Wildwood to divine his location with the Nameless Shrine.
Okay, so once you have enough offerings, you can return to like the main mechanic area, and you can unlock a domain, like you know, right? Like a ritual domain type thing.
His location will be revealed deeper in the Wildwood, and you will need to make your way to him, kill him, and get Aoife's body.
That's so cool.
Using her body, you can attempt to release her spirit, but this is when you learn about the true threat of the League.
Okay, so we can attempt to release her.
The Wildwood is built on top of an ancient prison. The King in the Mists didn't gain his power out of nowhere. He was granted it by an ancient being of darkness known as the Bodark, and the Nameless King's use of this power has been causing the prison to weaken. In order to prevent the Bodark from entering the world, a champion will need to enter its prison and beat him back, but those with a name are unable to survive there. In order to do so, you will need to transfer your name to another with a new mechanic in the Ritual League, the Rite of the Nameless. The rite will begin in a nearby forest. At first, it appears to be a regular ritual encounter, but that will soon change. The final ritual of the area will include the map boss. And defeating him will give you a piece of the effigy onto which you will transfer your name.
Okay.
But the ritual is still not complete. Once the map boss is defeated, the atlas will open, and you will need to pick another adjacent map to continue the ritual. During the rite, each adjacent map will have different rewards to tempt you. So for example, if you go in this direction, you gain significantly more tribute.
Yeah, so inside like the ritual domain, we are actually going to have modifiers on them that we can see that is going to try to tempt us to do those specific maps.
But if you go in this direction, the uniques in the reward window will turn into currency instead.
What? Hold on. Hold on. So you can actually choose all unique favors at ritual altars will instead be currency. So initially, we're only getting omens and unique items as favors at the altars. So when you complete the altar, you get favors to spend, right? So this mod right here is turning all the uniques into currency instead. That's so cool.
But if you go in this direction, the uniques in the reward window will turn into currency instead. You can also sometimes get offered specific items that will be added as rewards. So in this case, you'll have to choose if you want to get 5 Chaos Orbs or a Mage Blood. A difficult decision, I'm sure. Now,
What the heck?
this is one continuous ritual.
You can actually get the Mage Blood just like
They
that.
contain all the monsters that were gathered from the rituals of the previous map as well, making them harder and harder. And that includes the map boss too. You will need to defeat both map bosses in the final encounter for your next effigy piece. And it still doesn't end there. Pick another map, another reward, and add another map boss to continue until the ritual of the Nameless is complete.
That's
It
crazy.
will take 5 maps in all, and will be an incredible challenge.
That's crazy. Increased amount of
Return to the
bosses.
Wildwood to perform the final rite. Transfer your name to the effigy, adorn the crown of the Nameless King, and enter the prison.
Yeah, so it seems like for some of these mechanics, it's going to be like way harder to actually get to the pinnacle. Or there's like a lot more things you need to do.
Now, of course, once the pinnacle boss is complete, the League doesn't end there. As you do rituals on the Atlas, you can continue to give tribute to the King in the Mists for another audience.
Yeah, so you could just like offer and offer and offer and go to these domains and kind of like live in them. Kind of sustain. So like if you want to totally like focus on one mechanic, you can.
Pick another forest to begin the Rite of the Nameless once more,
Like there is enough content in each mechanic to actually do that.
and this time with a harder pinnacle boss and new unique items to find. Of course, we've also significantly upgraded the Ritual Atlas tree. Get points by completing maps in the Wildwood, and you'll be able to unlock some pretty cool nodes. Some of them affect the Rite of the Nameless, like this one, which extends its duration. You thought fighting 5 map bosses at once was hard? How about 6?
Yeah, so basically like Rite of the Nameless is kind of like the ritual trial. right? So what it does, like, it gets harder and harder, and you like it keeps adding bosses, like increasing the difficulty of like the boss encounters, which is kind of cool. But it seems almost like a trial without being a trial. Like it's a trial inside a different mechanic.
Or this one, which makes maps during the write have more reward mods, often having 2. You also have nodes that allow things to combine with other content, like this one, which gives a chance for rituals to be created inside summoning circles, adding a random boss to the ritual encounter.
That's cool as well. Wow.
There is even a node which adds a new type of possible ritual, the audience with the queen, which causes the bride of the king to sometimes appear. Okay, so that's ritual. But let's have a look at what this means for endgame content as a whole for Path of Exile 2. When you include the expedition changes made by the League, we have a total of 5 new endgame storylines, each of which has a hub, crafting systems, areas to explore, NPCs, and a pinnacle boss as a capstone. Not to mention the Masters of the Atlas storyline as well. But more importantly, you now have immediate quests as soon as you arrive at the endgame, and goals with obvious progressions that you can see how to finish. Each endgame questline has a progress bar that you can pop out from the side.
That's also really interesting. Let me blow this up. That's really interesting because then we can actually see like the progression on each of the different mechanics here. What's really interesting here also is look at these other ones here. Enigma chambers? What the heck is an enigma chamber? What the heck is an enigma chamber? Yeah, you're gonna want to get through the campaign even more. So if I were you, bro, this is what I would do. Like, I would practice the campaign on one specific character so that you can get faster through the campaign if that's what you want. But you're gonna have to practice, because if you do that, you're gonna be able to get faster to the end game. You're gonna be able to access these things a lot faster. Only way to do it, basically, is to practice getting faster at actually doing the campaign. Because we are not getting any campaign skip. So the only way to be faster is to practice to get faster through the campaign. So Enigma Chambers, what the heck are those? Patriarch and Matriarch Halls? What the heck are those? Very interesting. Like, there are some of these that we don't know what they are. Are they connected to the fortresses, maybe? Yeah, it's kind of limited. It's kind of limited, like, how fast you can actually get, or it's kind of limited what you can actually do to get faster to the end game. So, like, one thing that you can do is you can kind of trust another build maker or another build. Like, you can follow a build guide, basically, or like just like a leveling guide, or like how to get fast through the campaign. You can do that. Or you just kind of practice. You don't want to do it more times than you have to. Yeah, then you're just gonna have to like commit at league start to just it's gonna take you some time, you know. But I don't think it's necessarily gonna be as bad as you think, because with the new mechanic added, with the new runes, I mean, it's gonna add another layer to the campaign. So you're gonna be, if you want, like, you can engage with the runes in every single zone that you encounter through the campaign, right? Which is gonna make you be able to kind of like customize and improve the feeling of getting through the campaign, hopefully.
The Atlas screen at any time that shows you how far through you are, and buttons that will take you to the hubs for them.
That's really cool. Buttons that will also take you to the hubs of those specific mechanics. That's really cool.
Overall, it's just a way better in-game experience with a significant number of fun objectives to complete. But just in case you didn't have enough goals, we did have one other thing that you might want to complete this league. These are called challenge leagues after all, Where are all the challenges?
Challenge leagues. Let's go. Let's go. So finally, Challenge League. Yes, it's going to be a lot fewer of those like challenges to do than in PoE 1. Like I noted that yesterday during the live reveal. There's going to be less challenges, but yeah, I guess it's a good start, right? Introducing things like they can increase the amount of challenges, right? Question is, or like in PoE 2, the way it works is you kind of like have a free track. No. Never mind. That's the Kirak Vault. Never mind. So it is actually just like a free thing that you can do to try to earn some cool MTX, the Challenge League. Yeah, I was mixing it up with Kirak's Vault Pass. That's not the same thing. So the Challenge League will actually get you some cool rewards if you go for the challenges.
Well, players of Path of Exile 1 will be used to the fact that each league comes with a series of challenges that you can complete in order to prove that you are indeed the best. We haven't done these yet in Path of Exile 2, but it's time to change that. If you're able to complete them, you'll earn pieces.
Okay, so if you're able to complete them, let's have a look at this. We will add we will get pieces to this armor set.
Of the Knight of Alder armor set. Opening the challenge screen will show you a series of 8 challenges. After completing each one, anyone in chat or in the forums will be able to see your prowess.
Okay. Okay, so what are these? Rune Seeker, 6 out of 6, Hunter, Ascendant, Master, Reliquarian, Artisan. So Cartographer, this one seems like the one that's going to take most time, but it almost seems like based on the name that it's going to be like a map related thing, like complete 234 maps or something. I think this is going to be easy. I think it's going to be easy because it's going to like they're going to try to like introduce the challenge system to a lot of players. Like I think they do want most people to be able to do the challenges during this league, and I'm pretty sure they're going to increase. I'm pretty sure they're going to increase the challenges as we go, or as we get new leagues. The Ascendant, yeah, what could this be? Probably like 4 out of 4. It could be ascending, like getting all the 4 completing all your 4 ascendancies for a character. Yeah, all 4 of them, right? Because you have 4 tiers of them. The Master, that's probably defeating the Pinnacle, right? The Fortress Mega Boss. Vanquisher. Yeah, we'll just have to see what, like, right now it's only speculations.
In addition, you'll get a statue to put in your hideout showing anyone you trade with how many challenges you've completed.
That's cool, like those statues. So in PoE 1 we have totems, right? I don't have a lot of totems, but in PoE 1, like, you will get the totem. These are statues. That's really cool.
You'll earn the first piece of the armor set after doing 2 challenges, and the full armor set after completing all 8. So that covers all the content you'll encounter in Return of the Ancients. But what about some new tools to fight against these new pinnacles with? Well, we also have some new Ascendancy classes as well. But to introduce them, I'll hand you guys back to Mark.
Here comes the juice.
Jonathan said, we have 2 new classes to show you today, the Spirit Walker and the Martial Artist. Let's start with the Huntress's new class, the Spirit Walker. The Spirit Walker has developed an affinity with the Asmerian animal spirits. She is able to infuse the power of multiple spirits at her choosing. On the bottom part of the class, you will find paths for each wisp you would like to commune with, be they prime. The bottom able Spirit Walker. Let's start with the Huntress's new class, the Spirit Walker. The Spirit Walker has developed an affinity with the Asmerian animal spirits. She is able to infuse the power of multiple spirits at her choosing. On the bottom part of the class, you will find paths for each wisp you would like to commune with, be they primal, vivid, or wild. Each one can give you different abilities that align with the stag, owl, or bear. Each ability gives you a method to become possessed by wisps of that type, and a new ability when you spend them. The stag allows you to summon stampedes when you attack. The owl grants boons in the form of their feathers, which adds extra projectiles and enhances the projectile speed of your next skill. And the bear simply summons a giant bear companion to your side. The bear will maul, slam, leap, and do intimidating roars to debuff your enemies.
That's cool. It's almost adding like a druid aspect. So like we have the talisman weapon type, which gives you like you can turn into the wolf, the bear, or the wyvern. This is kind of like a similar thing. It's just that you're gonna get these helpers. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like similar to the Spiritborn class in D4. Spiritborn class is kind of doing similar things. But that's an entire class. This is just one ascendancy. This is 1 out of 3 directions.
Now you can specialize more into each of these wisps, but if you want to combine all 3 of them, then a new hidden power will be unlocked, the power of the Sacred Wisps. This node is free and enhances the quality of all 3 of your spirit animals. Your bear will take some of the damage you take and grant you life regeneration. Your stags will become more aggressive, leaping towards enemies, and your owl-empowered skills will leave a trail of soaring ground behind them. But that's not all. The Spirit Walker has other powers beyond wisps, such as Idolatry, which can give you large bonuses for using idle socketables in your equipment.
Okay, let's have a closer look. Companions deal 10% increased damage per idle in your equipment. 2% increased reservation efficiency of skills per idle in your equipment. Minus 4% to all elemental resistances per non-idle augment in your equipment. Okay. Yeah, so it really incentivizes you to go for like an all-out idle approach. Which is really cool. Because it's like really defined. And I really think that's really nice. It's really defined, like the ascendancy is. So at this point, like, or at least with this ascendancy, now you actually feel like, okay, I'm playing the Huntress, but at some point, you're gonna decide that you're gonna take 1 out of 3 paths, right? And it's really, really gonna be like build defining. Which is so cool. So like this kind of changes the way I have been thinking about ascendancies, or I mean, it makes me a lot more positive about the fact that the ascendancies can be so transformative for your character. And I really, really, really like this aspect of the game, like how you can kind of like specialize. You're starting with one thing and you're kind of like being pushed into some choices, and I think we should explore all of them. We should explore all of them. I think every single ascendancy is like a little puzzle, almost, that we can kind of like attempt to solve, which adds so much. Each ascendancy adds so much potential content. I mean, it just puts all these other games that only have 5 classes to choose from puts them to shame, you know. So when we have all the 12 classes we're gonna have in the game, we're gonna have a total of 36 ascendancies. 36. At this point, I feel like I'm familiar with one of them.
And this one, which is my absolute favorite. The Spirit Walker have
This one, bro. Bro, this one. Bro, this is the natural order one. This is the natural order one. Hold on. Natural order for the win. Bro. Tame beast can capture unique beasts. Can have up to 1 unique tame beast summon. Unique tame beasts have 30% increased movement speed. Tame beasts are possessed by random Asmeri spirits, changing every 20 seconds. It's the boss catcher. It's the boss catcher. You can tame the bosses, because they are uniques. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's the only ascendancy that can do this. And it's probably gonna be totally freaking cracked. It's probably gonna be insane. I think a lot of people are gonna go for this ascendancy. A lot of people are gonna go for this. It depends kind of like how, like what type of starter, like what type of league starter you are. If you kind of like want to just go for something that you know already and kind of like build some currency, build some progression pretty fast at the start of a league, or if you're just like this complete exploration type of player where you just want to go and kind of like check out everything that's new. But I mean, it's so insane because it just adds a totally different way to approach the game. Capture a pinnacle boss. Bro, that's insane. Like that's not gonna be so that's not gonna you're not gonna be able to do that. But one thing that I noticed here, just give me a second here. One thing that I noticed here is this one. Tamed beasts are possessed by random Asmeri spirits, changing every 20 seconds. That's insane. So you're not only gonna have like the so for this boss, if you tame a boss, right? You're not only gonna have like the boss's damage and just like attack types and whatever. It's also gonna be possessed by a random spirit, making it even stronger. Imagine that with Headhunter. Yeah, so the thing is, yeah, you were mentioning this yesterday as well. So I was only thinking about bosses then, but if you think about just rares, right? Just taming rares, right? I think that's what you're thinking about, right? Bro, it's gonna be cracked. Or I mean, I don't want to say it's gonna be cracked. I just want to say that I think this is gonna be super fun. Spirit Walker for the boss capturing ability or boss taming. It's just so cool. And also we have to think about you capture a specific so there are so many layers to this, right? So you capture a specific boss, right? But you capture it at a certain level, right? You're probably going to want to keep trying to tame that same boss at like higher tiers, higher levels, right? And also, the different types of unique bosses are gonna have some randomized mods, right? Will it not scale like the other ones? I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm not gonna have so many opinions on this right now because I feel like it's still way too early to tell. You can upgrade it, right? You can upgrade. That's the thing. You can upgrade it with your skill gems. It just opens up like a totally different way to think about the entire game. And that's kind of like how I want each ascendancy to feel like. Like it really, like it totally changes, you know? How you approach your character and how you just approach the game in general.
Having attuned yourself with nature can gain the ability to tame beast bosses, opening up a whole suite of very cool options for your build. Maybe you tame the mighty Silverfist in the jungle depths. Or maybe a three-headed chimeral beast in the
It's
chimeral
insane.
wetlands. Or then there's a giant frozen owl beast, Rakar, the frozen talon. There's so many choices. You're going to have to experiment a bunch with this one, and I'm very excited to see what bosses you all choose to have as your trusted boss companion.
Oh.
Next up, we have the monk's new ascendancy class, the martial artist. After decades of training, he has mastered 3 of the 7 hollow techniques. Channeling hollow form technique allows the martial artist to create illusions of himself, which then use a skill of your choosing. Perfect for turning skills with less area of effect into ones that can obliterate packs with ease. Should you find yourself overly vulnerable while channeling, you might want to take Way of the Mountain, which causes you to be covered in stone when you immobilize enemies, mitigating large amounts of damage. This can even enhance your attacks too. By hardening your weapon in stone, you can deal even more damage. After taking Hollow Focus technique, you can manifest your spiritual energy into objects. In this case, bells, which will appear around the martial artist and can be shattered by any.
So I'm a monk invoker lover, as you guys know. It's just Spirit Walker, it's so much more appealing to me.
Of his attacks, even ones from the Hollow Form technique earlier. Hollow Resonance technique furthers that by adding a manifested bell to your back, which rings each time you deal a critical strike, damaging all enemies around you.
That's kind of cool though.
Through all the martial artist's thorough
It
training,
just doesn't have like the wow factor of the Spirit Walker. I don't know. Like it is cool. It is something definitely that I'm gonna be like diving into at some point. 100%. Like my goal is to do it for every freaking ascendancy. I just think I need to give myself like a little more, like a little longer time span to do this than just like every league. Or like each league. So I'm not gonna get through the freaking all the ascendancies in one league. That's not gonna happen. Like I feel like you kind of like have to pick a focus and then just kind of like try to master that focus, and then you kind of choose something else and you start on a totally new adventure with the bells.
he has mastered the flow.
But there's a lot of interesting here, like can tattoo runes onto your body, gaining additional rune sockets and shits. Like that's really, really cool. Like that's really cool. It's just something that I really think that I think each ascendancy like requires a lot more investment to learn than we actually kind of think. The depth is real in this game.
Of internal spiritual energy too, and has engraved runic tattoos around his meridians. By doing this, he can gain the benefit of extra runes. Just open your inventory and add the.
And that's really cool. Like, that's really cool. Having this little like extra pouch here, or this little extra like tattoo window here, where you can add like one more rune to your helmet, 2 more to your body armor, 1 more to your gloves, and 1 more to your boots. But it kind of makes me think a little bit like this could be a mechanic that could be that you could kind of achieve from, for example, just like Tattoo League, right? If we get a league, I mean that is basically like the TOTA, right? The Trial of the Ancestors, the Tattoo League. But I think this is going to be kind of like a little taste of what we can potentially get, you know? I don't necessarily know if I think it's super cool that this specific mechanic is kind of like locked behind this ascendancy. It would be so cool if this was something that we could just do on all the different ascendancies, like the tattoos. But I think it's also cool, like that there are specific things that you can only get by going for a specific ascendancy.
There is 1 that counts as a helmet, 2 as a body armor, 1 as gloves, and 1 as boots. Finally, your hands, the ultimate expression of a master of the martial arts. Taking Way of the Stone Fist will cause your gloves to become a new
martial artist, aka the tattoo artist.
type when equipped. Each modifier on the original pair of gloves has an equivalent, more powerful, and more impactful modifier. For example, these gloves add some physical damage, cold damage, lightning damage, some resistances, and life gain on hit. Now, when I equip these, they become literal fists of stone, and not only grant me a bunch more evasion and energy shield, they now also grant a lot more damage.
Yeah, so that is kind of cool that you can pick a ascendancy node that is like really gonna make your gloves insane type of thing. I mean, it's a cool concept, right? It truly is a cool concept. Gonna have to require some research to like know if it's actually really good, or but it's cool. It's like these ascendancies should be like defining. Like, ascendancies should give you something that's like really defining for that ascendancy, I think. It's just like Spirit Walker just feels like it's such a more flashy ascendant, like the more flashy ascendancy out of the two. But I mean, it's hard to tell. Like right now, these are only like my opinions on like the initial thought of seeing the reveal, and not actually like I haven't tried. So I don't know. It's just initially Spirit Walker look. So I'm a monk enjoyer, okay? Like, I'm a monk enjoyer. But even as like a monk enjoyer, I still feel like the Spirit Walker, the Huntress Ascendancy, looks kind of cooler. What would be really cool is to try to kind of like build my monk in a way where I can actually get the Spirit Walker Ascendancy, or sorry, build my Huntress as I would kind of build my Monk, and just go for the Spirit Walker Ascendancy. That would be a cool thing to try. I might actually try that. I might try to go Huntress just for the Ascendancy, basically, but like build everything as I would have built my Monk, my Invoker.
Some maximum resistances, and a significantly higher amount of life gained on hitting enemies. With all the different rune combinations you could do, and the different modifiers and gloves, there's a ton of different build options, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can come up with.
Yeah, that's kind of like the cool aspect of it, right? Because you have the potential to add some like... You have the potential to add some really, really interesting runes, or some really interesting socketables, right? Because it is going to be socketables in general, right? It's not going to be only like those Iron Rune or Storm Rune, or, you know, you can do the crazier like cores and stuff as well, right? So it's interesting. It really is.
Now, with so many new bosses in Return of the Ancients, of course we want to have a huge number of unique rewards. There are some pretty cool things in here, so we wanted to show...
That's right, my friends. Or jewels.
Show you a few of them. Twisted Empyrean is a two-handed mace made from the purest of Verisium, combined with the beast's corruption. It converts all of your mace's skills fire damage to cold, and visually does so too, turning your volcanic fissures into glacial ones. This mace also comes with its own built-in skill, Starborn Onslaught. Using Glory, you can leap backwards, throwing your mace at the ground.
But this kind of makes me... So when they are presenting these uniques, like, this is what really made me think on the live reveal yesterday. Look at this. He's basically... He only has 3 skills here on his bar. So it seems like they are going for the fact that these uniques, especially the weapons, are going to be so strong and so defining that if you build correctly, you don't have to have 5 different combo skills that you need to do to actually do some serious damage. This feels like almost a little step away from like the super combo focus thing, and more in the direction of like, if you get the correct items, you can actually build and play with less focus on like the combo gameplay. Just a quick little comment there.
Creating Verisium fissures before calling behind it a storm of cold metallic bolts from the stratosphere. Next, we have Eventide Petals, an amulet that not only grants runic ward, but also comes with its own reservation skill, Midnight Zenith. This skill causes your critical hits to grant Arctic petals that hover around you.
It's cool.
Once you have acquired enough of these petals, they will be consumed, creating a floral ice crystal near an enemy. Then, destroy that crystal to do devastating cold damage.
It's so cool. And if you really, really enjoy this unique at the time you get it, if it's not like a very like late game item, okay, let's just rewind here a little bit.
That not only...
Yeah, okay, so it does require level 84, so this is like a late late unique item, right? A really late level unique item. I think that's kind of bad in a way. Like, there should be a lower level version of this as well. I think. We should have uniques on lower levels, like we should have this particular one also being able to drop super early. I think, in my opinion, I think. Because if you're going for this gem at level 84, that means you're gonna have to basically probably like change out your entire build at 84. I like to kind of try to pick a direction, pick a unique item, pick an ascendancy, pick whatever, and have this in mind from the moment that I create my character all the way into endgame. So I feel like it's messing up a little bit, the fact that you kind of like have to, or yeah, it kind of messes up my process of like making a build. Having these items locked behind a certain requirement level. I would love to have a version of this at a much earlier level. Like a version of it that doesn't require any levels. And with the runes, you keep upgrading it, right? You upgrade it, and it gets progressively better and better. That's how I think it should be.
Grants runic ward, but also comes with its own reservation skill, Midnight Zenith.
Yeah, okay, so maybe focus on a main that doesn't need it and get on there in prep to build it later. Yeah, but the thing is that I don't like that. I want to be able to kind of like pick some specific items that I'm gonna be going for or trying to get. And then being able to kind of like upgrade, if I get them early, being able to upgrade them. So I can keep playing my Frost Mace Warrior from like level 10 and use the same upgraded weapon, updated and upgraded weapon all the way into endgame. Being able to make it stronger. I think there should be more ways to kind of like being able to just keep upgrading your items. I think it would be nice to kind of like be able to upgrade your current, let's say, body armor, upgrading that specific one with some type of currency or some type of item, just upgrading it from one base type to the next. Because I want to keep the modifiers type of thing, you know. Yeah, even the normal bases get better. Yeah, but that's the thing. If we have some item that can upgrade one item from one base type to another, but the specific modifiers are gonna stay the same.
This skill causes your critical hits to grant Arctic petals that hover around you. Once you have acquired enough of these petals, they will be consumed, creating a floral ice crystal near an enemy. Then, destroy that crystal to do devastating cold damage to everything around it. The Raven's Flock is a staff perfect for minion characters.
Mm-hmm. So imagine being able to get the Raven's Flock. Okay, hold on. So here's my thoughts. Imagine being able to get the Raven's Flock at level 2. Obviously, it's not going to have the same level requirement. Obviously, it's not going to have the same skill level. It's not going to have the same cast speed, same intelligence, same of these, like minion steal, increased damage. Like all of these are going to be reduced, right? But if I want to keep playing the Raven's Flock, I want to make a Raven's Flock build specifically. I don't want to freaking wait until level 84 to do this. I want to make my Raven's Flock build. I want to get this unique as soon as I possibly can, because I want to build everything around this particular staff. The unique role on this, it's the it's the skill, I guess. Like the spiraling conspiracy is basically the skill here. Grueling madness, I guess, is also increased spirit reservation efficiency. Like playing the Raven's Flock from freaking level 2 all the way out and into the end game, I want to do that. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. Because I don't mind playing through the campaign over and over again, creating new characters over and over again. I don't mind. I just want to pick specific directions, and I want to be able to improve whatever it is I want to improve on. If it's like a unique item, if it's like an ascendancy, if it's like a particular skill, I just want to pick something and be able to kind of like build around it. Yeah, but what we're talking about right now, because you're saying otherwise, what's the point in base types? You should be able to take out the spell and put it in stronger staves. Yeah, or like just by upgrading it, like upgrading the specific items, it will turn it into a stronger base type, right? I just want the Raven's Flock to be the Raven's Flock. If it's a perching staff or some other type of staff, I don't care. I just want the specific effect that the uniqueness of this staff is giving me, and I want to be able to incrementally increase the power of that staff all the way into endgame.
Not only
I don't mind that the base type is what it is. All I'm saying is that I should be able to get the Raven's Flock way earlier in the game. I shouldn't have to wait until level 84 to get it.
does it grant spirit reservation efficiency and minion damage, it also allows your minions to inflict grueling madness on hit, slowing enemies and making all other slows on them more powerful for maximum crowd control.
Like, because that's kind of why I feel unique items are feeling so underwhelming. It's because they are kind of like a little bit locked behind certain of these thresholds. Like, I love the way that you can now upgrade like the lower leveled ones. But are you going to be able to upgrade the lower leveled ones indefinitely? And also the higher initial required ones we should be able to get way earlier.
That's not where this item shines though. It grants a skill called Spiraling Conspiracy. This skill...
Look. Look, my dudes. Look. One skill
causes a flock of ravens to circle you, dealing damage over time to anything near them. Killing enemies...
This is a one skill build.
Or just by standing near unique enemies, causes the flock to grow, getting larger and larger.
Haha! Yes! And that's what uniques should do. You should be able to freaking run this one button freaking Raven flock build.
For your PoE 1 players, you can think of this just like a Raven Righteous Fire. That's not all, however. These Ravens are also minions, so they fully scale with minion damage and come with their own command skill, Mad Flight. This command skill causes your flock to create a tunnel of deathly damage between a set of illusory mirrors, obliterating anything in between. Horror's Flight is a pair of gloves instilled with the purest of fear. Equipping these causes your enemies to become terrified of you. These gloves cause you to gain stacks of fear incarnate when you cull enemies. To aid in your culling, these gloves also come with the skill Crushing Fear. This is similar to the monk skill Killing Palm, except it deals chaos damage, and the amount of damage and area of effect scales drastically based on the power of the enemy.
So the Diablo 4 one-button builds. Thing is that the process of actually making this work is not necessarily going to be super easy. But I think you should be able to, if you take the time to figure out how to build this, you should be able to do it. Because there's definitely like a bunch of things that you're going to have to do to make this single skill work. Right? Or this single effect work. Right? I just don't want to grind and respec. No, that's not true. It's just that I feel like I don't want to play a certain way up until a certain point. And then I have to change a lot of things. And then, like that aspect, I think it's weird.
As you use this, gain your stacks of Fear Incarnate, which increases your culling threshold, meaning enemies become easier and easier to cull, even to the point of being able to instantly kill some monsters from full life.
Bro, that's super cool. What was that? What was that?
Monsters here, Incarnate.
What type of item was that?
Based on the power of the enemy, and the amount of speed in your cull when you cull enemies.
Horror Flight's Engraved Bracers. Hold on, let me look at this. Gain 1 Fear Incarnate when you cull a target. Each Fear Incarnate grants 10% increased culling strike. A threshold and lasts 10 seconds. This duration is refreshed when you gain another Fear Incarnate. You can have up to a maximum of 10 Fear Incarnate. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, not Ranger specific, but I mean, they are evasion based. But I mean, you can use them on whatever you want. That just seems like... So what this kind of... The way this speaks to me is that they are trying to show... So either they're trying to show off that these uniques are going to be way more powerful, or they're trying to show us that it's going to be possible to just like focus on like culling strike threshold, equip these gloves, and you're just going to be like, you know, just going to be able to cull. Like, obviously you have to wear like a culling skill, a skill that's like eligible for culling. Yeah, Quarterstaff has some interesting culling, but you also have some culling in the elemental aspect of the gems as well. So yeah, interesting. But this is what uniques. These are the effects that they should have. I just feel like we also should have them as lower, kind of lower level versions. I think, but the kind of like the issue with this one is like the effect itself, like the increased culling strike. So if they were to make like a lower level required version of this, we would probably need to kind of like lower that, you know, percentage that you will get for each Fear Incarnate. But like 1% increased culling strike for the lower version, right? 2% for like the next, you know, they could solve it in that type of way. It's just so cool, like if you drop a really, really cool, unique item, if you drop it like really early in your campaign, and you know how to use it, you understand how it works, it could really help you. You know, it can really help you in a lot of ways. Would you prefer it this way or the Diablo way? I would prefer to have a choice to decide like what I want. Like that's what we all want, right? Or at least, yeah. I mean, at least have like the option to do it however we want to do it. Not feel like there is something holding us back.
Enemies. To aid in your culling, these gloves also come with the skill Crushing.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking now is with the rune crafting. You know, the rune crafting is allowing us to upgrade uniques, right? So that's why I'm saying this, because that's what opened up this entire like thought about this, because with the rune rune forging, we can upgrade uniques, right? You can take a lower level unique and you can upgrade it. That's why I'm saying it, right? I don't know if there has been any like thoughts on this, like from the developers. I don't know. I just feel like if you have the option with the rune forging to upgrade a lower level unique to kind of like a higher level of the same unique, you should also be able to get like the uniques that are now locked behind a certain level requirement. You should be able to get them earlier, and you can improve them as you go.
This is similar to the monk skill Killing Palm, except it deals chaos damage, and the amount of damage and area of effect scales drastically based on the power of the enemy. As you use this, gain your stacks of Fear Incarnate, which increases your culling threshold.
That's so cool.
Enemies become easier and easier to cull.
That is really
even
cool.
to the point of being able to instantly kill some monsters from full life. Sylvan's Effigy is a scepter for those wanting to run companions. It allows you to have...
You feel like you should be able to upgrade those uniques, but it should be a huge con to it, like some roles removed. Yeah, or just like super lowered, like, right? So like that, the last item there with the culling or the Fear Incarnate, like you shouldn't get as much. You should get much less of it, right? So I understand the aspect of like, it's going to be totally cracked if you get like this lower level item and you're able to just like, I mean, initially on your league starter, you're not going to be able to do these things. Because you don't have the runes, you don't have the materials that you need to do the crafting type of thing, right? But you should be able to like incrementally increase it, I think. Incrementally increase it, because I mean, especially for like trade, if you think about it. So okay, you have a certain unique, so you're going to be on the lookout for that specific unique, right? You're going to be on the lookout for it. You're going to hit up the market, try to find one, as long as you have the materials to craft on it, like that type of thing. Like a more similar way to approach uniques, as we are kind of like approaching crafting on other items. Yeah, and it scales bad unless you find a higher level one and start scaling that one. Yeah, that's what that's what I mean. So you're dropping this staff. Let's just take the Raven Flock. I think that was a good item to try to explain my what I feel about this. So you drop a Raven's Flock. It has this skill that creates the ravens around you, right? And it's kind of powerful. Obviously, it's not going to be as powerful if you drop it at level 1, right? Because it's going to be like a level 1 requirement type of thing, or like a no level requirement type of thing. As soon as you reach, let's say, like level 5, you can upgrade it if you have the materials to upgrade it. That's going to upgrade the requirements, right? It's going to upgrade the requirements to be a level 5. Also, probably you're going to have some like attributes, maybe some attributes requirements to it. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be like a problem being able to kind of like
Any number of companions.
incrementally upgrade that specific unique item, as long as you have the materials. Like the materials, as long as you have like the level, like you have the increased character personal level, and you have the materials. Like you're not gonna have the materials to make it any stronger than the current level you are. But here comes the scaling, right? So at level 5, if you try to if you have the materials, I mean, you're not going to be able to upgrade it above your own level, right? You're only going to be able to upgrade it as a level 5. So it's never going to be stronger than a level 5. Until you upgrade it again at a later level. But if you get a level 5 one, it will be scaled like it's level 5. Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. The issue right now is that a lot of these uniques are required, like you can't get them under a specific level requirement. And I think that kind of like takes away a lot of the magic or a lot of like the wow factor of a specific item. Unless they come with a lower requirement roll. Yeah, but that usually does not depend on like the item level. That depends on like the attribute requirements. Right?
Of different types, instead of the normal restriction of just one per type. But what makes this cool is the Asmerian wolf companion it comes with.
But like this, so in the same way that you can, like we have had this discussion, or this discussion has been up before as well, with like the gems, so you pick, so yes, you're gonna unlock a certain amount of gems at level 1. Like these are the level 1 gems. You should be able to take those same gems, just upgrade them with the skill levels all the way up to max skill level, right? And also modify them to be even higher skill levels with like the plus skill gem levels to items and stuff. Maybe boss designated uniques then like Diablo. Yeah, but that's a different thing, you know. That's like the deterministic farming for like specific drops that are gonna be farmable. So yes, I agree. We should have that. Like we should have more of that, but we also should have like the option to just upgrade, especially for like the unique. I think they would be so much more relevant. They would be so much more relevant if we were able to upgrade the items. Um, you know, upgrade the items. Like they are trying it now for uniques, but if this works really well with uniques, they could be maybe implementing these things into um, other item types as well, not only uniques. Yeah, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Be right back. Yeah, so you agree on the take on the uniques. Only if they drop at different levels and lower level upgrades have diminishing returns over the higher ones. Yes, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that you should be able to drop like a super powerful unique that has like no level requirement to it. I'm just saying like how it scales. That's what I'm trying to say. Like how it scales. Seems like the way they are kind of like approaching the lower leveled ones is that they are basically mostly just improving the damage when it comes to the weapons. It would be so cool though if you could still have the same effects of the uniques, even though they are like they're not going to be as strong as obviously like at level 90. You know, obviously. Right? But it's you're still gonna get that unique aspect of that item. Yeah.
This is a persistent minion that bites foes to maim them, leaps to cause bleeding, and even howls to buff nearby allies. Additionally,
Because do you think like honestly? So honestly, like the way because I know a lot of people like they don't want to do the campaign over and over again, right? They like that's like the biggest like con about the game for a lot of people. Like they really don't want to do like the um, do the campaign over again because it just feels like you're starting out so freaking weak and you kind of like have to fight your way to the top, and it doesn't feel like progression in the campaign does not necessarily feel great. But if you have the potential of dropping these items like with these unique effects, obviously much weaker variants of them, like much weaker versions of them, but they are going to scale to your level instead of being locked behind level 90. So it's like you're going to go through the entire campaign, you're going to go all the way to 90, and there is no point even looking for this item until I reach level 90 because I can't use it. Don't you think this would improve, like, campaign in general? Okay, so you feel like it's the story that's the problem with the campaign, not like the how it feels to play it. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
it comes with the command skill Eternal Hunt, which when used it will howl, calling on the spirits to manifest spectral wolves to ambush all foes around you. Liminal Coil is a crazy wand.
My point is just like dropping really cool things during the campaign can actually make the campaign feel like it can make it faster, it can make it more fun. If you like get a specific unique item that really makes you kind of lean into something that you can focus on, which is going to make you like being able to kind of like progress faster, get faster through the campaign, get to the end game faster. That's all I'm saying.
Allows you to apply as many curses as you please, but those curses will have no effect. What's the point then? 2 reasons. Firstly, your spells gain a bunch of extra physical and chaos damage for each curse on enemies. Secondly, is the skill it grants called Coiling Bolts. This skill is a projectile spell that fires coiling physical and chaos projectiles with every cast. What makes this skill truly special though, is that it will split and chain through every cursed enemy.
So if we take this unique for as an example, if we're playing a caster, let's have a look at it. Let's have a closer look at it. Okay. So obviously you get the skill. right? You get increased spell damage, increased cast speed. But like the main thing about this is the magnitude of curses you inflict are 0, and the curses you inflict ignore curse limit, which means you can cast as many curses as you want. The curse itself does not do anything, like the curse itself. But spell hits gain 25% of damage as extra chaos damage per curse on target. And also spell hits gain 25% of damage as extra physical damage on target, which means if you get this at a low level, there is a low level version of this, you can already start thinking about the special effects. Extra chaos damage, extra physical damage. You can start focusing on chaos damage and physical damage. You can build from that from a very, very early point and make your build into a liminal coil build. Right? That's all I'm saying. Like all I want is the possibility for a really, really nice unique to drop at a low level, and we can incrementally with rune forging increase the stats. And it's gonna increase it up until all the way up until level 90, which is like the intended level for it. It's gonna increase it all the way up here and even that extra step at the end. You understand what I mean?
It's called Coiling Bolts. This skill is a projectile spell that fires coiling physical and chaos projectile.
Because the way it is right now, for me to play this wand, I'm gonna have to level like a witch all the way, or at least like I'm gonna have to level a character all the way to level 90 to even start playing this freaking weapon. That's but don't you think that's kind of like a similar thing with like the issue that you have with a campaign, that you have to go through this campaign to do this? That's the same thing, the exact same thing I mean with these items, that you have to level a character to level 90 to even begin to use this staff wand.
With every cast. What makes the skill truly special, though, is that it will split and chain through every cursed enemy, causing an absolute ruckus. See for yourself. Periphery is a unique bow, which utilizes all the powers of the Asmerian spirits by dealing damage of all elements. And all elements can cause all ailments. The coolest thing about this bow, however, is the Asmerian Swarm skill. These are minions that are summoned when you kill enemies. They will pursue all nearby enemies, damaging them and inflicting a debuff on them that boosts your elemental damage even further. Watch as you mow enemies down, and the swarms of Asmerian wisps aid you, melting enemies one screen at a time. The Ordained is a new spear, mastering in physical and lightning damage, with high critical strike chance too. This spear allows you to leech life not only from physical damage, but lightning too. It also creates a fragment of divinity nearby periodically. What are those? Well, this spear has the skill Righteous Descent.
Oh,
Which is an epic, divine leap.
That's so
aided
cool.
By angelic wings.
That's so cool.
If you use the skill when a fragment of divinity is nearby, it will become empowered, dealing significantly more damage, gaining massive area of effect, and bypassing its cooldown.
Yeah, but everything should be scaled, right? You should be able to freaking use this skill at like lower levels. Obviously, it shouldn't be doing as much damage as like a level 90 requirement version of it, but it should be doing the damage equivalent to a level 3 version of it.
When fighting a boss, let a bunch of the fragments spawn, and then just unleash your divine havoc, obliterating them. Last, but not least, we have a new unique jewel, Voices. Voices is simple.
Voice. Okay, let's have a closer look at this. Grants 2 jewel sockets.
It consumes 1 jewel slot to add more. There are versions that add 2 jewel slots, 3 jewel slots, and for those who are absurdly
Yeah, that's cool.
lucky or rich, one with 4 jewel slots. Equip it and notice the slots appear next to
Yeah, right here. 4 new ones.
your character's portrait in the center.
That's so cool.
One of the things we are concerned about is how long it takes for
That's going to be absurdly expensive, yeah. But as soon as you get one on your character, right? As soon as you get one, if you keep getting more of them, you can sell it and become rich.
experienced players to replay through the game in each new league. As we learned from Path of Exile 1, one of the things that can really help is having elements in the campaign that tell you where to go, if you know what to look for. We'll cover just one example per act for Acts 1 to 3, but there are many more than just these. For example, Hunting Grounds in Act 1 is a large, sparse area, containing multiple entrances and landmark encounters.
Yeah.
Here's an example of some
Yeah, the way, yeah, you hope they're going to drop from trials. Yeah, the way it's going to drop is like from the Trial of Chaos at the worst freaking tier, like at the highest difficulty of the Trial of Chaos. And you can't be hit by a single thing, like a no-hit run. That's how it's going to drop.
of the changes we've made here. Finding the ritual encounter in this area isn't too difficult. Now, after completing it, a trail of locusts will lead to the entrance.
It should be a chance to drop. Yeah. I mean, it should be a chance for it to drop in one of those gem chests. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're implying? It should have a really low chance to drop from one of those like chests that you open with keys. That gives you like the royal. I think it's the royal chests. Is that what you're saying?
To Freythorn.
Because that would be a thing.
Follow it and find the source of the evil.
That's a good one.
You may also find corpses of dead animals.
Yeah, just farm a ton of those chests and get jewels. Yeah. I think that's actually a good idea. Actually a good idea. Farm a ton of those just like trials to get the keys and get the royal chest, and there would be like a small chance of you actually being able to get one of those jewels, right? It was a corrupted one though, which means that if you keep corrupting your jewels, are you gonna get, or if you get like a bunch of those jewels and you corrupt them, that's gonna be one of the potential outcomes.
Killed and pecked at by the crowbell. You'll notice a trail of blood leading away from them. Follow the trail and it will lead directly to the boss. We even put a signpost on the road to tell you which way to go to find Ogham Village. In Act 2, in the Mastodon Badlands, you need to find the Lightless Caverns and track down the Abyssal. Now to make this quicker, in the level you'll find these cracks. Just follow them, and it will take you right to their lair, allowing you to find and unlock the Well of Souls. In Act 3, the jungle areas have camps of explorers to sell you items. However, they are now even more useful. By talking to the explorers, they will point towards the next area. Not only that, but it will also reveal it on the minimap, so you can know exactly where to go. These are just some examples. We plan to do more and more of these over time in order to streamline the experience. Now, as this is an in-game expansion, it makes sense that we would work on Atlas QOL. We've added a search box that updates live as you type. Have a specific map you want to run? Now they will be much easier to find. If there are multiple maps, hitting enter will move you from map to map. Now, making a character build in Path of Exile 2 can be pretty complex. And instead of designing a build yourself, many players enjoy following online build guides. We have a pretty awesome community that has built many tools over the years for designing builds, but we wanted to improve the experience of following them. So, we are introducing a new build guide system directly into the game client. Here's how it works. Community creators who write build guides can now create a new file format, a build file. Once downloaded, the builds appear in the in-game client, and selecting one will show you everything you need to know to make that build. So you can see all the passives you need to allocate, ascendancy points you need to take, skill gems you need to equip, and recommendations for all the support gems you need to use as well. For items, the build designer can specify which uniques to use in each slot, or if needed, just add some notes to the item slot to say what kind of item you need. In fact, build creators can add notes to just about any of these areas, allowing them to explain different trade-offs in context. Or
Yeah, that's interesting.
more info about
That's interesting. That's really interesting because it's actually the person making the planner can actually add these notes to the specific gear slots and stuff. That's interesting. That's cool. It's insane that this has taken, like, I don't know, 13 years to implement. That's crazy.
how these things should be used. They can also give level ranges to each element, allowing recommendations to change over time. Great for builds that need to respec after they reach a certain level. Now, all of this is written in a standardized build format that creators can use, and we imagine that a lot of community build tools will be updated to add support for this format. Now that we have trade market searching built into the in-game client, we have added the ability to price check items you can find more easily. Control-Alt-clicking an item will now search for it on the trade market, showing you the
This function is huge.
current control. Now that we have trade market searching built into the in-game client, we have added the ability to price check items you can find more easily. Control-Alt-clicking an item will now search for it on the trade market, showing you the current prices. For rare items, now search for it on the trade market easily. Control-Alt-clicking an item will now search for it on the trade market, showing you the current prices. For rare items, it's handy to exclude some mods, so we added the ability to enable and disable each mod so you can see what effect each one has on the price. Next up, we're going to be talking about the new supporter packs for Return of the Ancients.
Okay, so the supporter packs, I don't think it's like a huge area that we need to cover here. But, like, I mean, the amounts of things that's coming and the improvements here, everything from like the new league, you know, everything from like the new league to like the updates to the different league mechanics, the changes to the Atlas, the changes to endgame with like the quests, endgame quests, the fortress, like the quality of life. Bro, there is a lot. There is a lot. The 2 new ascendancies, especially the Spirit Walker, looks freaking insane. All the new uniques, like the rune crafting, rune forging. I mean, it's just, whoa. It's just a lot. A lot of things that we kind of like need to think about and need to, or at least should try to plan for as we are kind of preparing for 0.5. This has been part 2 of the diving a bit deeper into the reveal of 0.5 that we had yesterday. I'm gonna stop right here, my dudes, because there is just an overload in all of the different changes and all of the different things that we're getting. This has been part 2 of the deeper dive into the reveal. I'm Mounts and Fairy Tales. You are you. If you like what you're seeing, hit me up with a like. If you want more content like this, consider subscribing. That's gonna be it for now. Happy prepping for 0.5. I hope to see you in the next one. And thank you for watching.